Hi guys, I've got this client and she bought me this top, and what she doesn't like about it is the fact that you can see her bra through this section here. So you might come across a top like that or similar and you think, okay, what can I do to, stop seeing the bra? So she actually thought what she might do is just put some fabric behind it, and I said to her, yeah, that's a great idea. So I'm going to show you how I go about doing that in a nice, quick and easy way. Okay, so generally, like, I talk about how we are carpenters of fabric, and what you could do is you could measure this and fiddle around like that, or you can use some things that are available to you. Now what I do is I use one of these. You can buy them from a stationery shop. They're the front of, say, a folder that you buy, so I've got quite a few of them in there. What you want to do is make sure that you've got it, because when it's on, it's going to, stretch a bit. So you probably want to sort of try and pull it out as much as you can, so that when you put the fabric on, it's going to fit okay. Now what I did was I put a pin there and a pin there, and I'm going to come down here, down there and down there. So this line will be the finish. And all I have to do is put that over the top, grab my permanent marking pen. Obviously you don't want to get this anywhere near the fabric. And I'll just draw this line, which is there, there and there. And again, I just want to give it a bit of a pull. Go around here. Across there. Down. So that's all you're really doing, is just getting your outline like that, and there's your pattern. Okay, so that was really simple, wasn't it? Now all we have to do, pop that out of the way. This is the pink that she wants to use. Now obviously you want the stretch going in that direction. Have a look for the right side and the wrong side. You can tell the right and wrong side of a fabric with these holes. Generally the back of the hole will protrude, and that's the wrong side. And I just get into a habit of always having the right sides of the fabric together when I'm making something. And the other thing I do is I then put a pin in the right side, so I know that is the right side of the fabric. So the next thing you're going to do is cut out your piece. Now I do suggest, in the short term, just go about 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimetre more, just to make sure that it didn't move on you, and you can make any adjustments that you might want to make, rather than cutting out exactly. Plus the fact that you need the seam allowance anyway. Okay. So just pop it on there, and I'll just bring this over because I don't want to waste the fabric. There's no point in doing that. The easiest thing to do here is just to go around with your Chaco chalk marker or your chalk that you use. Okay, now I'll cut that. I'm just going to make it a tad bigger because I'd rather be bigger than too small. The thing is that plastic is very unforgiving, right? Whereas the fabric is a stretch. So you're better off to just cut a little bit more. So this is quick to take it in as it is to, to have to try and fix it. Now, that's one, because what I want to do, I want to have it so it's totally encased. So, whoops, what am I doing? So it will be this way. Not that it really matters because it doesn't, but anyway. So I'm going to encase it and then just stitch it on. Okay, second one, a little bit more. Okay, so there's my two. Okay, so it's going to be like that. And what I think I'll do is I'll just stitch up here like this and around and down. And I'll leave this bottom section open. Then I'll pop them inside out and then I'll attach it. So I'll stitch it and show you what that looks like. So they're stitched all the way around. Now we'll just pop them through. You can see how quick and easy that was to do, you know, rather than trying to measure it and carry on. And when you do something like this, which is encased, which I'll press it in a minute, it's going to make it, you know, sit nicer. I'll trim that once I'm happy with it in the top. I'll trim this excess away, I'll clip it. But I just don't want to do that until I can see that it fits. So that like that. Now we'll grab the top. There's in there. There's there. It's going to fit great. That'll go there, that'll go there, that'll go there. Okay, that'll be great. So what I'm going to do now, whenever you get, you know, something like this where, you know, you've got a section like that, I would cut it away as much as you can. and I'll just clip it. Don't clip your stitch. Actually, I'll just trim these corners. So I'll go and press these and come back and we'll pin them in. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do now is, because I decided to overlock it, what I've done is I've just stitched those two together, and now I'll just overlock that edge and then I'll come back and pin it in. So I've overlocked that off, and see how that's nice and neat and there's no bits hanging? So what you want to do is, on the wrong side of the overlocking, this is called a loop turner. You can use it for all sorts of things. They're great. You can buy them off my website, or you can buy them in other haberdashery shops. You know, you can use it for elastic, you can use it for all sorts of things. It's got a little hook on the end. So you hook the overlocking into there, you close that so it doesn't come off, and then pull it through. Okay, so we're now ready to pop them on. Okay, so here's another tip when you're trying to put something onto a garment. You just need something nice and wide. I use my ruler, and I'm going to slide it in between the fabric, like so. And then I can pop this in there, like that. And it'll handle, you know, having the pins go into it. So you're not, you know, pinning into the other side of the fabric. Okay, so put that there and that there. And the pins. Now, if I had have unpicked that and inserted it, can you imagine the amount of work involved in that? You know, I mean, what I do always comes down to the time it takes to do something. I get paid for my time. And if you start to do this, or you're doing this for a living, then you know what I'm talking about. So you want to be good to your customers in that you want to help them achieve something, and you know, it doesn't cost them an arm and a leg. And it looks good. So they come back to you. Okay, now I'll get some more pins. Okay, so across the top. And the beauty of this is using a stretch fabric that it's going to stretch with the top. Okay, so that's that side done. A little bit fiddly, but the board is very helpful underneath. Okay, so there we have it, and now I'm actually going to hand stitch that. I can stitch this bottom section here, and I could perhaps stitch the top section, yeah, which I will. I'll stitch across there and I'll stitch across there, but I'm going to hand stitch here and I'm going to hand stitch there, and I think I'll hand stitch there. Okay, or I might even I might actually just sew that with the machine. Yeah. Okay, so there we have it. I'll show you what that looks like when it's finished. I decided to show you that I stitched it because I did one side. I stitched it on and I thought, well, that's really good, so I thought I'd show you how I did that. Some people ask me about how I sew. I mean, the thing with sewing is that, I mean, everybody's got their own little methods and techniques. Everyone's different. To me, there's no one way that's right or wrong. I guess sometimes when you're sewing certain kinds of fabrics, there's lots of tips that people can give you. It does come down to understanding garment construction, and the only way you're going to learn that is by pulling lots of garments apart and altering them and putting them back together again. Okay, so that's the shoulder stitched. Remember that when you've got something underneath that's quite thick and you're trying to get it out, you've got to remember that these feed dogs drop. When you reverse, see how when I reverse they drop, and then when you go forward they come up, because that's what's moving the fabric. So if you are trying to pull something out from underneath your foot and your feed dogs are up, then it can grab hold of the fabric. And when you're dealing with a really, like a chiffon or something that can damage really easily, you want to always remember to just lower the feed dogs. Don't do it so that the needle's too far down. You just want the needle will just come to about, the top of the foot, and then you can easily slide the fabric out. So, tip of the day. My chair's a bit squeaky, I apologise for that. Okay, now I actually did the side seam, the armhole. I'm going to do that now. And what was good with that was that I'll just pin it this way and make sure that that goes down to there. Covers there. Now if I stitched onto this section here, then part of that would show through on the other side. So what I want to do is I want to stitch right on the very edge there. I'll do this section here, and what I did was I just stitched on that bit there. I could have stitched on the edge, but then I thought that's just creating another seam that you don't necessarily need. When you do something like this, it's not like you're sewing, something really quickly. You've got to take your time, and I use my fingers to manipulate the fabric to make it go where I want it to go. Take that out. Sorry if you can't see it. Okay. And now we just have to do the bottom, and then I'll do the hand stitching and it's finished. It looks great, doesn't it? So again, I'm having trouble getting it in, so I'm just going to reverse so that I can slide it in a lot easier. And then bring it forward. And we're good. Go. So that's all finished. Now all I've got to do is just hand stitch that, and we're finished, and it covers a bra, and it looks quite effective. So I've finished the top, and so now you've got that section in there which is going to cover her bra, and that looks fine from the inside. So, little idea for you if you've got a top that, you know, is too revealing at the top, or, you know, you want to cover it, you can make a little enclosure like that. I'll do a close-up for you. I've just got to press it. I haven't pressed it. Happy altering?